Alex Pantoja taking on Steve. Now, word of advice from a former champion to the new king of flyweight division: do not let the king of Rio, Jose Aldo, taking on Jonathan Martinez. I've never been a big fan when athletes retire and they want to come back and fight. Sometimes it works out good, sometimes it doesn't. If I had to pick somebody, What's going on, boys? Welcome back to the channel, and it is final predictions. We got final predictions of UFC 301. We have Alex Pantoja defending his flyweight belt for the very first time against an unknown challenger, Steve. I think his last name is Eric. I don't want to ruin that, but I apologize, Steve. So, ladies and gentlemen, and then we also have the king of Brazil, the king of Rio, Jose Aldo, taking on Jonathan Martinez. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is an interesting card because we just came off of watching UFC 300, and that was an absolute banger with all the fights from top to bottom. Now we're going to UFC 301. So I'm going to give you guys my final predictions on this card, and also give you guys a little insight of advice I can give Alex Pantoja, because I've been in the same spot. Not a lot of people are talking about this main event or this card. I've been there before. Before we get to that, let us get to the final predictions. Now, Alex Pantoja taking on Steve. Now, the biggest thing about this fight, Alex Pantoja, I've always believed he's been a dark horse in the division. Why do I say that? Is because a lot of people don't really know his name. He's been in the division for a very, very long time. He was an Ultimate Fighter where I ended up fighting the winner of it, and that was Tim Elliott. But Alex Pantoja has had ups and downs, but now he is the king of the flyweight division. He had some great battles. He's fought Figgy. He's pretty much fought everybody on the way to winning the title. He's had multiple fights with Brandon Moreno. So Alex Pantoja is in this weird spot where he's beat all the #1 contenders so far, and there's nobody left for him to fight besides Mokaev. And Mokaev is not taking a fight. He's hoping to get another fight, maybe with Alex Perez, and have a #1 contendership spot. But this video is sponsored by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is a daily fantasy sports game. You have UFC 301, which is right around the corner, and we have some picks that we are liking. They got Alex Pantoja. They think he's gonna land 2.5 takedowns. You know what? For me, I like less on that, because I feel if Alex Pantoja can get Steve down, he's going to keep him there, get on his back, and look for the submission. Or Steve is going to make an adjustment and not allow Alex Pantoja to land 3 takedowns. So for that, I'm going to go with less. And then the cool thing about PrizePicks, it's not always about takedowns. They have significant strikes. They have fight time. And let's take a look at the fight time one. They have that the main event, Alex Pantoja, is going to go more than 17.5 minutes. Now, that's an interesting way. That's kind of like right in the middle of a 5-round fight. My gut's telling me I think Alex Pantoja is going to get the finish early, get on his back, submit him. I'm going to go with less on that. And then they also have significant strikes. Let's take a look at the co-main event with Jonathan Martinez landing 63.5 strikes against the king of Rio, Jose Aldo. I like less on that. I think he's not going to be able to land that many shots. I think Aldo is going to be moving and sticking and landing that leg kick, and also putting together a 3-piece chicken meal, going to the head and following up with the liver, which he knocked out Jeremy Stevens with. So that's the thing I love about PrizePicks, is that you can pick and choose less or more. You're not playing against thousands of people around the world. You're playing against the projections with people, or the projectors think is going to happen in a fight. And if you guys want to try PrizePicks, all you got to do is go to your app store, iPhone user or Android user, download PrizePicks. And when you do that, make sure you use my promo code MIGHTY. They will match up to $100 of your deposit to let you get in the fun and make the right pick at the right place, which you all know, ladies and gentlemen, which is PrizePicks. Let's talk about Alex Pantoja. What does Alex Pantoja do very well? One, he's very well rounded. His strength is his grappling, right? When he gets people down on the ground, he has beautiful past people's guards, get in their back, beating them up. He beat Brandon Moreno up pretty damn bad from a reverse triangle from the back, and just beat the living hell out of him like he was beating on the drums. And he also has heavy hands, and his striking is a little unorthodox. Now, Pantoja isn't very smooth on the feet, where he's moving and going to the jabs of the body, 1-2 up top. It's more of a run you down, run into the void, and throw these unorthodox shots, and he lands them. And through him crossing the distance and getting the void to fight like that, it tempts a wrestling match where he typically wins against his opponents. Now, the flip side, let's take a look at Steve. Now, I've watched a couple of Steve's fight, and he's very crisp on his feet. He has great boxing. Likes to work behind his jab. Those are multiple combinations. He ended up finishing his last opponent, and he is a dark horse. Now, the interesting thing is that I know Alex Pantoja is not taking this guy lightly. It's his first opportunity to defend his belt, and it's been very hard for a champion in this division to have a very long streak. You had Figgy, and you also had Brandon Moreno going back and forth. But now we have a fresh new blood with Alex Pantoja. He won it for Brandon Moreno. I know he is not going to miss this opportunity to take this guy out and make a name for himself and cement himself as one of the legitimate champions in the flyweight division. Now, what does Alex Pantoja need to do to get the job done? He needs to do what he does best. He's got a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background, black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he needs to frustrate Steve, get in the void, take him down, pass his guard, force him to turtle, take his back, body triangle, slip in and choke, take no damage in this fight. He can do that because he has the skill set to do that. Now, Steve, he is better on the feet. What I mean by he's better on the feet is that he moves better on the feet, right? He moves behind his jab. It's a little more traditional. He has good range, good distance, good jab. If he can frustrate Alex Pantoja on the feet, he can end up catching him. He has to catch him. Now, but if Alex frustrates Steve and gets in the void and makes it a nasty fight, gets his back and ends up, finish him there, then that's all Alex got to do. But if I had to pick somebody, I'll tell you after I tell you about the co-main event. Now, the co-main event, I think this is probably the biggest fight on the card because you have the King of Rio, King of Brazil, coming out of retirement, Jose Aldo. Now, he's coming back and fighting at 135. Now, I was a little bit shocked about this because this gentleman has been retired. Why fight at 135? Why not fight at 145, the division you were the champion in for a very, very long time? Or shit, hell, why not even 155? What is the point of cutting weight to 135? Now, I was at the gym and I was thinking, I was like, man, does Jose want to come back and try to make another run at the belt at 135? Because, honestly, the landscape hasn't really changed since he left. Peter Yan's still there. You have Sugar Sean O'Malley, who's a champion. You have Merab, and Merab just beat him. So maybe he wants to make a run at it. But maybe he just wants to do the weight cut and fight at 135. I'm not sure. But he's taking on Jonathan Martinez, another unknown athlete that I'm not familiar with, but I just watched one of his fights against Yanez. He ended up finishing him with leg kicks. He has legit striking from a southpaw position. He does a good job at taking out that lead leg of his opponent. Now, how is he going to be able to deal with that with Jose Aldo? Where Jose is very good at checking the leg kicks. He's also good at the boxing because he's had a couple boxing matches. And he is one of the most experienced veterans that Jonathan Martinez is going to be fighting, and a former world champion. Now, what does Aldo need to do to get the fight done, to win this fight? One, the inactivity. How is that going to affect Jose Aldo? I'm sure he's training, but training and competing are two different things, especially when you're competing in boxing. Competing in boxing is totally different than competing in mixed martial arts, where Jonathan Martinez has been competing in mixed martial arts and working his way up the ranks to become a world champion and get his opportunity to do that. I've never been a big fan when athletes retire and they want to come back and fight. Sometimes it works out good, sometimes it doesn't. We'll have to see how it's going to go for Jose Aldo, but I'm always going to go with Jose Aldo because I feel that he has the tools to get the job done, and maybe retirement has given his body the time to recover and given his mind to rethink about the game, rethink about how he's going to approach the game, right? He's also a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Maybe we can see Jose Aldo come out there and do a little wrestling. And here's another thing that I read about Jose Aldo is that he wanted to come back and fight and finish one more fight on his contract. That way he can have the opportunity to go off and do more boxing, because he said, I quote, "I enjoy boxing. It's not as hard on my body as mixed martial arts, and it's something I truly enjoy." So maybe he's coming back. It's easy for him to fight. It's in his hometown in Brazil, so he doesn't have to worry about traveling. He can just go to the gym, train, go to Brazil, the stadium that's going to be at, weigh in, fight in front of his daughter, his son, his wife, and then go home and then pursue his career in boxing. What does Jonathan Martinez have to do to beat Jose Aldo? Honestly, you've been more active. right? Somebody who's been more active and somebody who's been playing in mixed martial arts where the other one has been playing in boxing. I think you use your full arsenal of mixed martial arts. Make it a wrestling match. Make it a kickboxing, Muay Thai, boxing, jiu-jitsu match. Bring all the tools to the game. You see a lot of athletes, they don't like to do that. But I think if Martinez can do that against Jose Aldo and let him remind him why you left this sport, because this sport is very grueling, it's hard on the body, and there's so many things you have to prepare for. But as we all know, Jose Aldo is the king of Rio, former featherweight champion of the world. I'm sure he's going to cover all his bases, make sure his jiu-jitsu is good, his striking is good, everything is on point. So now, my final predictions of the main event, Alex Pantoja taking on Steve. Guys, I don't think there's anybody anytime soon beating Alex Pantoja. I think he does everything right, and I think this is his opportunity to shine under the bright lights. His very first headlining pay-per-view card, and I think he's going to go out there and blow the roof off the stadium in Brazil. Now, word of advice from a former champion to the new king of flyweight division: do not let people or the media who aren't looking forward to this fight and saying this card is weak. Brother, go out there, do your thing, get the victory. The money will come, the eyeballs will come when you go out there and display to the world that you're one of the greatest flyweights in the world by submitting or knocking out Steve. And even if you don't knock him out or submit him, as long as you keep on winning and racking up those numbers as a champion, the eyeballs will come. Because there's been times when I would fight on the cards, UFC 186, UFC 178, which was a banger because Conor McGregor and Donald Cerrone and Eddie Alvarez were all on there. But there's multiple cards that I was headlining and there was nobody behind me that can pick up the steam or bring more eyeballs. Even when I fought on the same card with me, Henry Cejudo versus John Jones, OSP, that didn't bring a lot of eyeballs because it was supposed to be Daniel Cormier fighting John Jones, but Daniel Cormier got injured. But all I'm trying to say is, Alex Pantoja, go out there and do your thing, brother. I'm looking forward and I'm going to be watching and rooting for you. So, boys, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and also hit the bell to know when we go live. And what do you guys think? What do you guys think about my picks? Do you think, you know, Alex Pantoja is not going to land 70.5 strikes at the time of filming this? Or do you think he's going to land more than that? I think he's going to get the finish, submission. He's going to go out there, his hometown, Brazil, make a statement. Make sure you guys come back here as we'll do a live reaction on this channel. And I might be somewhere a little bit, let's just say tropical. All right, boys, hit the bell, subscribe, leave a comment. We'll see you at the next one. Chill. Well, damn.